At 49, I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. My husband had passed. One child moved out and one left for college. And it was COVID. For the first time in decades, I had no idea who I was without being a mom or a wife or traveling around for my job. Does that sound familiar? If you've ever felt like you've lost yourself after your children left home or have been through a major life transition like a retirement, you may have been wondering, what's next for me? The next 11 minutes could change everything because I'm about to show you an ancient Japanese framework that helped me and thousands of other women just like you rediscover not just who they are, but their deepest sense of purpose. Hi, I'm Dr. Cheryl Russell, and I'm proof that midlife can be your launch pad, not your finish line. I hold a PhD in developing people and organizations, and I've spent my career leading statewide consulting teams, mentoring thousands of small business owners, and evaluating programs at the national level. But at 49 years old, my own life flipped upside down. I lost my husband of 31 years, I became an empty nester, and I left my C-suite job, all during COVID. I had to reinvent myself from the ground up. Now I'm here to help women just like you find clarity, confidence, and joy in your own next chapter. But first, let me tell you what won't work. Self-help books that you read but don't take action. That's useless. Career quizzes that you take but never do anything with the information. It's not going to help. And those vision boards you create but you leave them alone because they're not filling the void that you're feeling. Well, here is what will work, and I will prove it to you with real stories, including my complete transformation from lost to today, one heck of an amazing life. Plus, I walk with you through the exact 4-step process to the Ikigai framework that gives you the psychological reasons why this works when everything else fails, and share the one mistake that keeps 87% of women stuck in the searching phase forever. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's find your Ikigai. Let's start with the truth nobody talks about. When your children leave home, you don't just lose their presence. You lose your primary identity. For 18 to 25 years, you were mom. Every decision, every sacrifice, every dream you put on hold was for them. And now that silence is deafening. So does this sound familiar? I spent so long being everything to everyone else, I forgot how to be something to myself. Or this, I look at my husband at dinner and think, we used to talk about the kids for hours. Now, what do we even have in common? Here's what's happening in your brain. Psychologists call this role exit, when a role that was central to your identity is suddenly gone. Those neural pathways, literally carved by decades of mom mode, are scrambling to reorganize. You're not broken. You're not having a midlife crisis. You're experiencing a normal psychological transition that requires intentional navigation. But here's the beautiful part. This transition is also your greatest opportunity because for the first time in decades, you get to choose who you become next. And that's where the Ikigai comes in. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that literally means reason for being. The Japanese believe everyone has an Ikigai, a sweet spot where 4 essential elements overlap. What you love, your passions and what energizes you, what you're good at, your skills and natural talents, what the world needs, problems you can solve or value you can provide, and what you can get paid for, how this can sustain you financially. Now you might be thinking, this sounds like a career advice, but it's so much deeper than that. Ikigai isn't about finding a job, it's about finding your reason to get up every morning with excitement instead of dread. Remember my story? My Ikigai journey started when I realized I love mentoring. I'd been doing it informally with friends and to my teams at work for years. I am good at organizing and problem solving. The world needed support for women navigating major life transitions, and I would be fulfilled helping other women like me through coaching and workshops. But here's the key. I didn't start out with a business plan. I started with honest self-reflection using the Ikigai framework, and that's exactly what we're going to do next. The 4-step Ikigai process. I'm going to walk with you through the exact process I use that I've refined with clients. Grab a notebook because you'll want to capture this. Step 1 is rediscover what you love. Your passions might be buried under years of putting everyone else first. We need to dig them up. Exercise 1, the time machine question. What did you love doing before you became a mom? What activities made you lose track of time? And what topics could you talk about for hours? Exercise 2, the energy audit. When do you feel most alive and energized? What activities drain you versus fuel you? And what would you do if time and money weren't factors? Laura, 54, realized she'd completely forgotten her love of writing. She used to journal religiously in her 20s, wrote poetry, even started a novel. 25 years of motherhood later, she barely wrote grocery lists. But when she started writing again, even just morning pages, she felt like herself for the first time in decades. Step 2, inventory what you're good at. This is where women over 50 undersell themselves massively. You have skills you don't even recognize are valuable. Exercise 3, the Mom Skills Translator. Project management, coordinating family schedules. Negotiation, getting teenagers to clean their rooms. Crisis management, sick kids, school emergencies. Financial management, stretching household budgets. Mentoring and teaching, helping with homework, life lessons. Exercise 4, the compliment collection. What do friends always come to you for help with? What do people say you're naturally good at? What feels easy to you but hard for others? Is there a person in your life who thought she had no marketable skills after 20 years of being a stay-at-home mom? Then after reflecting, she was the go-to person in her neighborhood for everything from organizing the block parties to mediating disputes between neighbors. Those weren't just mom things. They were leadership, event planning, and conflict resolution that companies pay 6 figures for. Step 3, identify what the world needs. This isn't about saving the world. It's about finding problems you're uniquely positioned to solve. Exercise 5, the pain point radar. What frustrates you about the world? What problems do you naturally notice? What do you wish existed when you were struggling? Exercise 6, the intersection investigation. What unique combinations of experiences do you have? What perspective can only you provide? What would you tell your younger self? When I did my Ikigai, I realized I loved and had a passion for helping people. I have skills at research and simplifying complex information, and there was a huge need for someone to help women navigate life transitions without shame or confusion, which we need in this world. I became a midlife reinvention educator, and now I share my knowledge with you through this channel. If this video inspired you, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. Every week, I share tools and stories to help you reinvent midlife with clarity, confidence, and joy. Subscribe now, and let's start your next chapter together. Step 4, explore how you can be paid. This doesn't mean everything has to be monetized, but having financial stability gives you the freedom and the confidence. Exercise 7, the value proposition builder. How could your unique combination create value? What would people pay to learn, experience, or have solved? What are 3 different ways you could package your Ikigai? Many women resist this step, thinking it's selfish to want to be paid for their purpose. Let me be clear. Wanting financial independence and security is not selfish. It's smart, and it allows you to serve from a place of abundance, not depletion. Why Ikigai works. Now, why does this work when everything else fails? The psychology is fascinating. Reason 1, identity reconstruction. Ikigai helps you build what psychologists call a bridge identity, connecting who you were, who you are now, and who you're becoming. Instead of throwing away your past, you're building upon it. Reason 2, intrinsic motivation. Unlike external goals like losing weight or making money, Ikigai taps into intrinsic motivation, the driver that comes from within. Research shows us intrinsic motivation is sustainable, while extrinsic motivation burns us out. Reason 3, cognitive integration. The 4-circle framework forces your brain to synthesize information across multiple domains. This creates what neuropsychologists call cognitive integration, when different parts of your brain work together to create insight. 4, purpose. Driven longevity studies of Okinawan centenarians, this is where Ikigai originates, showed that having a clear sense of purpose literally extends your life. Women with strong Ikigai live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. Here's the big mistake that keeps 87% of women stuck. They try to find their one true passion instead of exploring the intersection of multiple elements. Ikigai isn't about finding the answer. It's about finding your answer at the intersection of love, skill, service, and sustainability. Let me tell you the rest of my story because this is where it gets really good. I spent weeks working through these exercises. Discovered I loved mentoring, was naturally good at seeing solutions others missed, recognized that women facing major transitions needed support, and realized I could create value through workshops and one-on-one coaching. But here's the part that surprised me. My Ikigai wasn't just about building a business. It truly transformed me. When I rediscovered my sense of purpose, I brought that energy back into all my relationships. I started having real conversations again. I felt like a whole person, not a lost, wandering soul. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait. Don't overthink it. Take 15 minutes a day and answer just the first set of questions. What do you love doing before life got complicated? What makes you lose track of time? And what would you do if you couldn't fail? Write down whatever comes up. Don't judge it. Don't edit it. Just capture it. Because here's the truth. You're not too old to reinvent yourself. You're not too late to find your purpose. You're exactly the right age to step into the most powerful, authentic version of yourself you've ever been. As someone who has guided people through major life transitions using strategic frameworks like this, I can promise you that clarity and confidence you're seeking is closer than you think. It's not about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself intentionally and purposefully. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share one thing you loved doing before you became mom. Let's start building your Ikigai community right here. Thanks for spending this time with me. If you've ever felt lost after a major life change and you don't know how to move forward, I created something called the Midlife Reinvention Quiz and Blueprint, finding clarity and confidence in your next chapter. It's a step-by-step guide I wish I had when I felt completely lost. Inside, I walk you through exercises to uncover your hidden strengths, test drive new directions, and rebuild identity that feels aligned. If you're ready to stop drifting and start designing the next chapter of your life with clarity and confidence, check it out. The link is in the description. Your next chapter is waiting. You just need the courage to write it. I will see you in the next video where we are going to explore another powerful brainstorming tool that could change everything. Until then, keep exploring, keep growing, and remember, your best years are ahead of you.